This is Paw Print, an animal rescue community, episode 79. I'm Harold Ree.
I'm Nancy Ree.
And today we're going to be talking about updates to the Montreal as well as the Miami-Dade County Pit Bull Bans. We'll be catching you up on all that. But first, we have a lot of dogs to talk about. We'll talk about Phelps, Curry, who got adopted, a couple of our new fosters, and as the title of our episode says, Nancy and I did the unthinkable. So we'll talk a little bit about what that means. You want to talk about maybe Phelps first?
Phelps was a Shih Tzu, probably Lhasa Apso mix. He was a very popular dog at the shelter, at the public shelter, at the county shelter. However, his adopters kept passing on him because he was nippy and growly. So I pulled him so he could get socialized properly. There were a couple of people were interested in him. One person passed because he was nippy and growly. And then the second person, even though Phelps was growly and even nippy, he was dog savvy enough that he felt like he could handle it. He's doing very well in his new home.
And he also got a great haircut, which we might be able to show a photo of.
You could see the before and after. Before, he looked like a Wookiee.
And now he looks like a superstar. So, great. You want to update us on Curry, finally?
Yes, Curry, our lovable Curry. Curry was a dog that was very, very shut down, extremely timid at the shelter. It took a while for him to generate some interest and get applications. But finally, on his exactly 90th day as our foster dog, he found the perfect home with very dog-savvy people, a couple who knew exactly how to handle a timid dog. They had already adopted a rat terrier a year ago and was also a timid dog. They were looking for a companion. Curry was the perfect dog, and he's very happy in his new home. The couple, they both work, so they have a puppy cam, and they sent us pictures, a shot from the puppy cam, and Curry just looks totally relaxed and having fun in his new home.
Great. Yeah, so finally, Curry, you can never give up on a dog. So Curry is proof of that. Talk about the two fosters you picked up.
Our two new foster dogs, who I picked up this past Saturday. One is called Mozart. He's a mostly white and tan terrier, maybe Maltese. Very cute, 7 pounds. Very, very cute and sweet. A little bit whiny, but not long enough to be irritating. He just got neutered, and he's already generating interest, getting phone calls. We expect to get a lot of applications for him. The other foster dog, her name is Carmen. She's probably a long-haired Chihuahua Doxy mix. She is very much like Curry, extremely shut down at the shelter. She does actually let people touch her, but she was also peeing when people approached her. Gotten better, but her problem is that she just doesn't move. Once she lies down on her bed, she just doesn't move. And the first 3 days, she never even went to the bathroom, and I was extremely concerned. Suddenly, she was showing signs of life, ever so slightly. We're making rapid progress. I took her outside in the backyard, and at first she was shivering, but then she was walking around. And then when it's time to come in, she's too fearful to come inside on her own. She'll even come up to the patio door, and she'll even stick her head in, but she just can't pass that threshold. So then when we reach out to help her, she'll recoil and run away. So Harold and I have to do what we used to do with Curry, which is to tag team and try to grab her.
So she's not a party animal yet. We still have to work with her, be very, very patient with her, but already in a few days, she's made some progress.
Yeah,
So,
I think she's progressing in terms of socialization. I think she's on a faster track than Curry was.
well, as they say, girls are smarter than boys. Okay, now let's get to something that just happened so suddenly. Nancy and I did the unthinkable, and that is, up to now, I think some of you know, we have 3 dogs of our own. Nacho, who was our first adopted dog, after, of course, Allie, who did pass away. But Nacho, and then Lego, and then Evie. And so, Nancy, you want to tell a story about what we did?
We ended up rehoming Evie to my friend's parents.
So our friend's name is Cheryl.
And 4 years ago, when Evie was our foster dog, she was a puppy back then, Cheryl had wanted her parents to adopt Evie. However, her parents had just lost their dog and they just weren't ready. We ended up foster failing and adopting Evie.
Which I did not even realize that Cheryl had her eye on Evie for her parents 4 years ago.
So Evie was our foster failure. And then even after we adopted Evie, which she was our third adopted dog, we kept fostering dogs. And, Evie never was crazy about having foster dogs, but, she dealt with it. Lately, though, she just ended up getting more growly and nippy at the foster dogs, not only at the foster dogs, but also at our own dogs, Nacho and Lego. When Evie was in the room and Nacho and Lego wanted to come in, she would just growl so badly that Nacho and Lego would be too afraid to even go in the room with her. So I always thought Evie would be better off as an only dog. Cheryl's parents met Evie and just ended up falling in love with her. So I thought, you know what? Maybe this was meant to be. Evie was always meant to be with Cheryl's parents.
It happened suddenly, but I got to meet Cheryl's parents for the first time, and you could tell right away that it was a good fit. It was definitely a good fit.
Yes, Evie gets very nervous with strangers in general. But when she went to Cheryl's parents' house, she just walked right in. She checked out the place,
Cracked open a beer.
Yeah, she went into a bedroom to check it out, and she just seemed like she was home.
So it was, in some ways, a tough decision, but definitely, I think everybody's heart was in the right place, or is in the right place. Evie's in a great home, and now Nancy can go to the local shelter and save more dogs.
That's the most important thing in terms of animal rescue. Now that we only have 2 dogs instead of 3 dogs, I wouldn't hesitate to pull more dogs from the shelter.
Let this be a warning to Nacho and Lego. Can't just have their way now that Evie the enforcer is no longer in the house. Okay, now moving on to the Montreal and Miami Pit Bull Bans. Let's go with Miami first. But due to Hurricane Matthew, which of course is a big, big deal, the Board of Commissioners in Miami-Dade County actually had to cut their meeting short. So I think the process, from what I understand, is that they usually have an open call for speakers to speak about the issue before the Board of Commissioners votes. And in this case, what was going to happen was that Commissioner Bruno Barrero in Miami-Dade County had put up a proposal to repeal the pit bull ban that has been in place in Miami-Dade County since 1989. They had a referendum in 2012, which did get voted down by a 2-1 margin. So this is a vote of the people. So the people voted it down, or voted down the repeal 2-1. So now, approximately 4 years later, Board of Commissioners is reconsidering this. They have an open call for speakers, but due to the hurricane, they had to cancel that part just so that they could end the meeting and get home quickly to prepare for the hurricane. Ironically, they actually did end up just having a vote. And actually, I think by like a 5-7 margin, the Board of Commissioners actually did vote the repeal down. But due to the fact that they didn't allow anybody to speak, this open call for speakers, they basically scrapped the vote. So very strange. They voted, and then they just decided to scrap the vote. So everything's sort of on hold until probably the next meeting, it sounds like. So Miami does still have their pit bull ban. Now going to Montreal, the mayor in Montreal is Denis Coderre, and he has been a proponent of a pit bull ban. There is a judge, I believe Quebec Superior Court, Judge Louis Guin. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. He has decided to indefinitely suspend the Montreal Pit Bull ban. So this was the ban that was passed almost 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. We're just so happy that he did suspend the ban. This was really sounds like due to the hard work of the Montreal SPCA, that as they prepare to present, or as they are given time to prepare for, I guess, an actual hearing on the pit bull ban, which will be several months down the road. For now, the judge has suspended the ban. Good news for really the dog owners of Montreal. So all that stuff is good. If any of you are just sort of wondering, like, how the heck did all this happen? Well, remember, none of this happens in a vacuum. There are people who get seriously injured by dog bites. There are people who die by dog bites, and so we don't want to forget that. For the Miami ban, it all started, there was a young girl who did not die, but got basically her face mauled. Sounds like it took several reconstructive surgeries just to get her back to somewhat of a normal life. So in Montreal, a woman by the name of Christiane Vadnais, 55-year-old, did die. She was mauled to death by, sounds like a dog that was new to the neighborhood. Initially, the police thought, and the dog was euthanized by the police immediately. The police thought this was a pit bull. Later on, now it's debatable. I guess we're waiting for tests to come back, but it was registered as a boxer. So this all brings up so many different issues, right? How do we protect the safety so that a girl in Miami doesn't get mauled? A 55-year-old woman in Montreal doesn't die due to a fatal dog attack. Our stance is, the answer is not to target a particular breed or a particular group of dogs. Our stance is to follow the lead of, let's say, a Calgary or an Alberta, where it is a mix of education, it's a mix of enforcement of laws to make sure that any dangerous dogs or any owners who are responsible for dangerous situations are disciplined, removed, punished properly. And in fact, the discussion about Montreal is that Montreal actually does have a lot of these laws on the books. If they had just simply enforced the laws that were already on the books, hopefully that would prevent some attacks. Can't prevent all attacks, but hopefully it would prevent attacks like this with Christiane Vadnais. So with that said, while we're glad that the Montreal Pit Bull ban is suspended, we hope that really there's a constructive dialogue, that they actually do come up with policies that do truly increase the safety of the people of Montreal and the province of Quebec. Well, we just want to say thanks for listening, folks. Evie, if you're out there listening to us, we miss you dearly. Remember that if you want to find me or Nancy on social media, find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Go to This Is Paw Print, all one word. If you want to listen to more episodes of Paw Print, find us on your favorite podcast app like iTunes, SoundCloud, or even iHeartRadio. They have an awesome app, and you can look us up there. Look for Paw Print Animal Rescue. And if you can, hit the subscribe button to get any of our latest episodes immediately. We just want to say thank you, all of you, for sharing Paw Print with your friends and family. And remember, you spread a positive message of love and peace by saving an animal. Have a great day, everyone, and have a great weekend. And see you next time on Paw Print.
Paw Print is a production of EVER Education.
You can't handle the truth.